All right, here we are.
Love it.
We're at the Rally for Serve Dave Cave basement with Reese.
I love it. What's up,
Reese
guys? How's it
Fisher.
going? It's great to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
First episode, man.
I know.
And I think you're going to be like a reoccurring guest.
And it was me. I couldn't, I feel
co-host.
Hit that like button if you.
Yeah, we got a good setup. Couple of cameras. And as you can see there, we should get into the shots because
should we start with the
I think that's how our friendship started, right?
Yeah.
Where were we 3 months ago at the pool?
Yeah.
Drinking tequila and Jaeger.
Do you like shots? I'm like, do I like shots? For anyone watching this who knows me, do I like shots? I don't know. All right. Good thing we both have super long arms.
Thanks for bringing these, by the way, dude.
Buddy. An absolute pleasure.
Yeah, we don't really drink beer or wine. We just drink hard alcohol. You arrive at your destination faster.
Of course. It's all about efficiency.
It's like a plane
it's all about efficiency,
versus
right?
a train.
Oh. And we got it on ice, too. Because what better way to be? Yeah, there it is. Well, Dave.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man. This is our first time cheersing, actually. There it is.
Yeah, man.
Jaeger.
No
Love that.
salt and lemon. Who needs training wheels anyways?
Yeah, I was going to say, I need training wheels with tequila. I hate tequila. You know that already. I'll do it still, though.
Yeah, man. So how you doing, dude? Like, you've done podcasts before. I haven't.
Done a couple, yeah.
So, like, what do I need to know to, like, have successful podcasts, man?
What do you need to know? Well, always be genuine, which I think you're like that anyways, though, right?
And the alcohol will probably help.
Of course, yes. Naturally. No, I don't know, man. I think, at least for me, podcasts, just have fun. Because if you're not having fun, I mean, that's your motto, though, right?
Yeah.
So big thing that I learned from Dave was one of the first things he said to me. He's like, man, I just wake up every day and see like how I can have fun. And I'm like, that is the best way to be ever. Like, that's so sick. I love that.
Thanks,
I tried to adopt that a little bit more in my life. But yeah, so going back to this podcast, if you're having fun, I mean, why not do it, right?
Yeah, we met recently, like this summer, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was saying to you before, we both shoot weddings and we ran into each other at Botanical Gardens.
Yeah. I know.
The like number one spot that you take.
I was so nervous. I'm like, holy shit, that's Dave Tech. He doesn't know who I am. You're like, hey man. I'm like, hey.
Yeah. I recognize you too. I was like, that guy did a video for White Oaks and did videos for like sports and Brock and I'd seen your other stuff. I didn't even see too many of your weddings before, but I always looked up to you, man. Like big fan of your work.
Come on.
I was raving. I was showing my buddies your demo reel.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, your stuff's really inspiring, dude.
Thanks,
so
dude.
Happy to have you here and just talk filmmaking, life, whatever.
Here's the thing, man. It's an honor for me to be here because you're like the man. You know what I mean? So like I'm like a little bit more down here, but you know. So thanks for having me.
Just because I'm older, man. That's it. By the time you're 31, dude, your resume is gonna be crazy.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, man.
If we can actually still shoot stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed on your site, your company's called Instillment, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
And you've worked with like a lot of great brands. Like it's not like you're just wedding focused.
So
you've worked with like MLSC and other companies, right? Like, what sort of stands out to you in terms of like your higher caliber stuff that you like love to share and talk about?
I mean, like weddings only recently had become my focus because I was working with Captivate Photo Cinema before that as like a second shooter basically, but they were my mentors kind of getting into this stuff, so I didn't want to compete with them and do weddings as well. Right. So I started doing sports because nobody was really doing sports, and Brock University kind of gave me that really good launching platform to start there because their basketball team was like doing well, volleyball was good too, right? So just started filming all these different sports, and then people just started watching them and liking them, and I was like, maybe I can like do this a little bit more. And then, of course, as I've talked about 100 times to people, Mihai Raducanu gave me the opportunity to travel around the world with him and shoot like the NBA pre-draft, shoot NBA camps like all across the States, shoot in Europe, like pro camps there. So like those are kind of the ones that I remember the most because they were the most fun because, you know, just traveling with your best friend, doing what you love. It's like, how do you beat that, right? And then, but yeah, like MLSE was like a really good opportunity as well. Got to shoot like some of the Leafs players there.
Yeah, I think I saw on your site there's a pic of Austin Matthews.
Yeah. So I took that actual picture. It wasn't just like stock photo.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's sweet, man.
I think living in the Niagara area, the two biggest things I would say video wise and photo wise is weddings and real estate, right?
Yeah.
So we've kind of adapted to go that way just because it makes sense. We work with a lot of great realtors. We have a ton of great couples that we work with. So now, you know, I'm kind of coming into your turf a little bit, but I liked what you said to me about, you know, I think there's enough for everybody, which I 100% agree with, right? Because a lot of people come to Niagara on the lake and it's just a beautiful place to
yeah.
get married.
Yeah, I think I sent you a selfie when I was shooting a real estate gig with your hoodie.
Yeah.
The hoodies you made are so good. Like they're so comfy. And I was just like, a few people I've been wearing it, man, because it's comfy and I appreciate it.
Glad you like it.
And I get a kind of a kick out of the fact that like, yeah, you'd be, competition, but we're just buddies. And like I said, there's enough work to go around, and hopefully we can actually do some weddings and gigs together. But I remember a few guys saying like, that's REECE, that's in Stillman. So you've obviously got a good reputation.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
And some guys were just like saying like, how do you know REECE? I'm like, I've only known him for a few months now. We've been playing some ping pong and
I love it, man.
having some good times during this pandemic.
I know, it's crazy.
How do you think the pandemic affected like your life? I know you recently moved in with some buddies. Like, what's going on with like COVID and your world and being self-employed? Because it's been us that have been everyone's been hit hard, but like people that are working in film and entertainment and all this, like really everything kind of came to a halt pretty quickly. Like my wife kept working, she's a nurse. A lot of people still kept working, kept getting paid, but for a while everything came to a halt. So how did you deal with the past few months?
I mean, honestly, man, at the first like month of like all this happening, I panicked a little bit, and I was like, hey, no, we can find something that we can do and like work. And then like everything shut down, and at that point it was just like what do we do, right? So that's when we kind of really turned to real estate, because that was the only thing that didn't really shut down, right? So we were doing more content for them, especially because everything was going digital. There couldn't be open houses, couldn't be any of that stuff, so you have to see everything online, right? So we kind of focused on that, but then we also looked inwards as well and focused on creating content for Instillment and just try and challenge ourselves. Like we did different challenge videos, like, hey, we'll do a video, we only have an hour to do this video, here's the topic, and we'll just like drop it, and then we all have an hour to go do it. And so I'm talking, when I say we, I'm talking about like Ben and Dan as well, who are my teammates at Instillment. And like we just tried to do 60 days straight of content. So content every single day for 60 days. And that was tough. I wouldn't recommend doing it. But it was a lot of fun, and it challenged us, and it actually kind of brought work after things started opening up a little bit, because people were like, oh, I saw you guys do that like stupid video, but like it was fun and cool. And I was like, sweet. So like, how about yourself though? I mean, how did you take this whole thing?
I had about 25 weddings like email me for like all just like in 48 hours. It was just like, we're postponing to 2021, right? And I was just like, man, like I get it. Like if they don't want to do this, like I totally understood, but it was just like, man, that stings. Like that's income I counted on, and I don't even know like if they're gonna want to go through with video in 2021. Like I feel like budgets are getting cut, and video is more of like a luxury add-on.
Absolutely,
right? So I just kind of think, like realistically, are people still gonna want to pay thousands of dollars for photography or video or whatever, right? So I was kind of like, oh man, but I got enough creative juices in me. I was like going around with my skateboard in March, making little short films around the falls. I did like this like abandoned Clifton Hill area thing.
It was sick.
Some guy like shared it on, like he has some decent following in the falls, and then that kind of took off. Nice, so I was just making some kind of like casual vlogs around the house, and it's kind of this input output. Like I feel like there are people out there that just kind of got to a point where it's like, oh, I kept seeing this thing online that was like, all you have to do is like survive the pandemic and you're doing great. And I was like, no, like I want to do more than survive. I want to keep innovating. I want to create. I want to do like custom videos for like myself and growing my like YouTube channel and stuff. So there's ways for us to make money other than just like, an in-person client experience. So I was doing that, trying to grow the YouTube channel, like little videos, and then weddings kind of became a thing again. And
they're much smaller.
I was like reducing I was basically doing everything. I was just like, hey guys, like I'll shoot your wedding, like what's your budget? Like I was doing like 3-hour shoots, 4-hour elopements, like haven't really been doing too many receptions, but it feels good to be now in October, kind of got the ball rolling again. So I know you told me about this other YouTube channel you have, and like you guys are like totally nerds, and like you geek out and like do reaction videos. And even like being at your house, you got posters, Marvel and all the comics. So
that's a lot of fun, man. That was crazy.
And like, it's cool. Like you guys blew up. Like
we literally got that out in like cool. 20, like the trailer dropped, and we had our video out in 26 minutes.
26 minutes like, after the trailer.
I don't know what I was doing, but
crazy.
Like, I just love being efficient with editing. I'm like, hey, give me the footage. Like, I just got my new like laptop PC, so I was like mobile with it. And I could just like fire it off. We got it out, and Ben's very good at the back end. like keywords and like analytics and like really like nailing that down. So he was doing that while I was like editing the video, and then somebody else, I think it was Dan, was making the thumbnail. So we had like that efficient little like team doing that, and then we got it in 26 minutes. Sure enough, I think it's sitting around like 850,000 views right now. So
good for you, bro.
Yeah, so but you
probably $0 in YouTube
of course, but
right away all their algorithms just like, oh, that's not original
that's
content.
A WB
We're taking it. Thank you for the views. Thanks for the ads.
But you're also big on YouTube though, right? So how's your experience been with YouTube?
Been good, yeah. Like when I qualified for the monetization program, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like you can get paid for views, and I didn't really know like what that meant. Like, do you get paid for like 100 views or 1,000 or 1,000,000? And then I quickly realized it's like a very saturated platform, and if you truly want to, be a YouTuber and make a living, you got to be in the millions of views like weekly, right? Which I'm not at, but yeah, I've had a few videos kind of take off. I think one video I made like $2,100 from.
Come on,
it was like a montage of. I just know what sells, it's the grooms crying.
Yeah,
you go online. I know the data. I know that like 92% of my viewers are female.
Yeah, but that's what they're looking for, though, right?
You just make a montage of all these grooms crying as their bride comes down the aisle. Man, they eat that up, right?
100%.
So I was like, I've probably got like 10 or 15 like golden shots, So I just kind of went through my hard drives and picked them all out, and bam,
Do you find that hard to do?
Took off.
Do you find that hard to call your footage and be like, here are my like absolute best shots, or is that easy for you?
Yeah, I mean, I try to have a pretty strict culling process where like I'll shoot the wedding, and then even like that night I'll basically cull it like before I go to bed. And then I do that with my montages as well. Like if there's anything that I think like a particular shot stands out, whether it's like a drone shot or like a first look reaction, I'll kind of archive that like right away. And I don't even know what I'll do with it necessarily. But I just really know like this is like a money shot. So I'll just kind of put it in a folder. Because going through like all these hard drives from previous years, it could just kind of be annoying, right?
100%. It's the worst.
So it's kind of in that moment, like when I shoot a wedding, and that's why I appreciate you with like that 26-minute turnaround time. Like I've tried to adapt that sort of mentality with weddings, because I think now with so many videographers out there, I'm sure you know this, I've said this to you, wow factor and turnaround time is huge,
Absolutely.
Because there's so many great videographers out there now, and there's so many like Toronto companies that just have like 3 shooters, like stunning cinematography, but if their video is sent to the couple and like in 3-4 months, I feel like that's where they kind of miss the mark. Like their work is stunning, but it's just like, after 3 months, people are kind of like, they may have even gone to another wedding already, or like life goes on, you're back to work. So
absolutely,
I've tried to maintain that hustle, like really pumping out stuff fast, because it's good for them. Like they love it, and it's good for me for
100%
social media and stuff. But
absolutely,
yeah.
Man, we're in the era of Amazon Prime. You get something a day. It's like what?
For sure.
So it's like people just have that expectation to be like, okay, and they're still excited about it. Like imagine having your wedding day and all of a sudden like you get to see the video a couple days later. It's like holy shit.
I talk to people like other photographers and videographers and vendors, and sometimes they say, oh yeah, I'm done the photos, I'm done the video, I'm just like holding it and like waiting so that they think that I'm working on it longer than I really am. I'm like, no, if your stuff's done, send it to them. Like, like you said, Amazon, like people, it's fast, man. The way we consume data now, the way people scroll through Facebook and Instagram, like just gaining someone's attention is hard now, you know?
Super hard, man.
So if like you shoot a wedding on a Saturday and there's like a sweet like 2-3 minute video, like either that night or like Sunday morning, like that's gold, man. And I tell people that all the time. If you wait a week or two to post like a teaser, it's done. You've missed it, 100%. And so I think that's what I've been good at. Like obviously I look up to other videographers, and there's companies in Toronto where like they kind of put my cinematography to shame, but I just think with my turnaround time and kind of easygoing nature, I think it's how I've been able to capitalize.
I was going to say, I think it's a lot more than just the finished product too, because it's the entire experience. So even you being there and having fun with them and like making them feel comfortable, like they're going to remember that as well as your product. You know what I mean? Because if somebody's an asshole and then they do a really good product, they're like, hey, it looks good, but No,
I know. I'm known to like always stay late, like with shots, like the bride and groom is like, hey, you want to stick around, like have a drink, and sometimes I just can't because I'm like in Toronto and I got to shoot the next day. But like more often than not, I'm just a pushover, right? They're like, all right, you fed me, you gave me a nice steak. The least I can do is have a drink with you, right?
Of course, absolutely.
And next thing you know, you're like 4 or 5 deep, and then you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I gotta ride this out a little. Maybe I shouldn't drive home with 20 grand worth of gear in my van. Right?
Yeah, that's probably a
so then
probably
it's
a great
like
idea.
midnight, and my wife's texting me like when are you coming home? I'm like, soon.
Yeah,
Things are running late.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love it.
But it's that customer experience, right? So I don't know. It's fascinating, man, and I feel like you're gonna blow up in the wedding world. I know you've already done a ton, but I feel like now with like what you've got going with Instillment, you're coming for me.
Coming from you,
out of business, man.
Coming from you, that means a lot, brother. You are the best in the biz, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, thanks, man. Circling back to something that you were saying earlier about kind of like, choosing like what's important and stuff. I found, at least with myself, that sometimes looking at projects now or creative projects that we want to do, it's almost like, hey, like, is this going to be worth the time of like, okay, is this actually going to capture people's attention? Because so many, like, we'll have so many ideas, and then it's like, okay, will people actually give a shit though? Yeah. Because there's so much content going out there, right? So before it was like, oh, make every idea, and then it'll get, you'll work like a week on it and it'll get 3 views, and you're like, like, you got to put your dues in and do that stuff. But I find now that if it's like, hey, if people aren't going to like watch it and people don't care, is that something we should focus on, or should we try and come up with something else? So, for example, let's use your work. You put out these montages that are getting like way more views than, some of just the individual wedding stuff. So you put more time into that, you get more return out of it, right? Yeah. So that's just how we've been thinking a little more. And it kind of sucks because I want to just do, every project and every idea that I have. But what are your thoughts on that? Like,
yeah, I just kind of want to keep it original to like what I do. Like if it actually excites me, and I get 6 people to watch it, then it's like whatever. I still don't regret it. Yeah. Sure. Maybe my exposure is not that great, but that's why I'm talking about ping pong more, and even make the silly sign. And I post like wedding videos, and they'll get like tons of comments and tons of likes and views. Because I know that stuff sells. I know that's sort of my brand. And then I start posting like ping pong stuff, and like 3 people watch it. And I'm like, I don't even care though, really. Like I'm at the point now where I'm established. And if like you don't want to watch me play ping pong, like I get it. Like why would you? If you don't know who I am. No, but just like I don't know. I'm almost using it more of just like whatever excites me. I just want to talk about, share. Cool. That's why I wanted to do this with you. Yeah, absolutely. And you inspired me to do this. I was just trying to like go from one big video to the next, and it's like it's hard now, man. So just keeping it authentic means like you're not gonna like hate the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Which like I'll be honest with you, I've been there.
Yeah, there's times like, where like shit, I know this is gonna like do well, and even if it doesn't, it sucks even more because you spent so much time doing it. You probably didn't even like the whole process. Then you hit upload and it doesn't do the way you think it would do, and then you're just like, well, that was a waste of time.
Exactly. So I guess there's 2 faces of the coin right there, right? It's like doing the stuff because you have to do it, and then still focusing on the stuff that actually like attracted you to this in the first place. So like what was the first, well, you were saying your dad was a videographer as well, right? Yeah. My dad, like he was like and that's what got you into
the Niagara guy back in like the non-digital era, the like cassette tapes and VHS. Awesome. I remember being a kid, we had 2 what are they even called now? VCRs? Side by side. He was cutting from one VCR to the next. It was a wedding video.
That's crazy.
And he was just like, and it just like took so long for him to make like a little 5-minute edit. And I was just like, man, I don't even know if I would have been able to make films back then. Like if it just stayed with that sort of, technology, I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing just because I don't have the patience.
I was going to say the patience of that.
Hours and hours. Now everything's digital. You bring it into your computer, you cut it in 20 minutes, and you can slap something together.
Oh, I made a mistake. Undo. Let me take this film apart and tape it back together.
So, he established himself in the Niagara region as a wedding videographer, but it was obviously, different back then. And then in high school, I always joke that like, because I went to Eden High School, a Christian high school. And some of them were getting married, like they're high school sweethearts, right? So they're 19, 20 years old. They're giving me a call because they're like, yeah, Dave, he's the video guy. Maybe he can shoot my wedding. And I didn't even know if I was like charging for the first few that I did. I was just like, I'll just get the ball rolling, right?
Of course,
so,
yeah.
And then it just kind of spiraled from there. We should do another shot.
I agree. Let's break the cameras and then do a shot, or no?
Yeah, bro. No, I'll just cut it if we have to.
All right, beautiful.
We'll just keep her rolling, man.
Love that.
Are you a basketball fan?
Am I a basketball fan?
Because Lakers took it all last night, man.
I saw the Lakers won.
King James.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really like obviously I wanted to see the Raptors go farther than they did.
Yeah. So you're
like,
a Raps fan.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm not really like I just like watching sports like objectively, just for pure talent. So
gotcha.
This shot, at least for me, is going out to LeBron James.
Let's give it up to LeBron James and the Lakers.
That dude, man. Yeah, I'm not even here to start a LeBron, Kobe, MJ, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar debate.
Yeah.
But just like, if you just break it down, if you break LeBron James's like personal stats down, some people just say, oh, well, he doesn't have 6 rings. Rings are like that's a team stat. Like that's a franchise. Your whole team won a ring.
Absolutely.
I'm just talking about individual stats like assists, points, blocks, turnovers, whatever, minutes played. I was looking on NBA.com yesterday. LeBron has everything in the playoffs.
Really?
The guy's played over 3 full seasons of playoff games, 260 games in the playoffs.
Holy shit.
He leads the playoff history in points, minutes, assists.
Wow. Like
everything. Huge. He's just like the playoff king. I don't care what anyone says. These are just the stats,
For sure.
And I think he's coming
what
from...
say objectively speaking of stats?
I love watching him play. The dude is insane. He's like 35, 36 years old. Like, I love how last night he went up and like dunked and then he slapped the backboard, which is like a technical foul, but he didn't care because they were like winning by 20. Yeah. Oh man.
That's amazing.
Too good. So I had to do a shot to the king.
Unreal. Yeah. Love
Who's
that.
your... you a Raptors fan? Or do you have
you know what, man? Like after I stopped playing basketball, I kind of like fell out of paying attention with it. But I just go for the Raptors because it's like home team.
For sure.
I liked Oklahoma when it was like Kevin Durant, James Harden, and like Russell Westbrook. I liked watching them play. They were just fun. It was fun to watch. But after
Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on Brooklyn Nets are going to be pretty sweet next year.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, man.
That's unreal, man. You played volleyball, right?
Yeah,
you played
in high school.
Too,
yeah, I played basketball for 1 or 2 years. I was like more serious about volleyball.
Mostly volleyball, yeah. You're an
we were
an animal.
You're
an animal at volleyball.
We were, when I was in grade 11, I was like just riding the bench as most grade 11s do because that was when you could have like grade 13s or grade 12B or whatever you call it.
Yep.
And we went to OFSA and we got bronze.
Nice.
And so it was a nice taste of, playing at a provincial level.
Of course.
But with my buddies, the bench warmers, we were just kind of seeing, what was out there. And then when we became in grade 12, man, it was lights out. Yeah. Like I said, we were so cocky, but like we were crazy, man. Yeah. Like really, it was justified.
100%.
Because our coach, we hated the chirps that were like, oh, Eden's just a AA school. They wouldn't be able to compete against, AAA or quad A schools, right? So then our coach actually put us in like the big Toronto quad A tournaments, AAA tournaments. We were going all over Ontario, man.
Nice.
And then even for OFSA, like the DSBN paid for our flights. We had to go up to Dryden.
What?
Like the border of Ontario and man, it was like an hour or two from Winnipeg.
Right.
We're like 17, 18 years old.
That's so sick.
It's November. We're like, it's so cold. We're like, what are we doing here again? We're playing like 4 volleyball games.
Yeah. That probably was a hell of an experience.
Yeah.
Though.
Cleaned up, man. We just cleaned up and it was awesome. We were just like total idiots at the airport and just like, our coach is just like, oh my goodness, these guys are crazy.
Yep.
And then we made a vow.
That's high school sports right there, though.
We basically made a vow. We said like, if we win OFSA, then let's all come back next year and like try to win again, right? So I think 5 of our 6 starters came back. There was one guy that actually went on to actually like start his life, and there's bigger things than high school volleyball. But all of us were still like living in the past. Like, come on, let's do it again.
I did the same thing. I stayed back for basketball. So.
Then that year again, sheer dominance. We just like cleaned up even more. We were basically a college team, man. Like
at that point,
we'd all graduated.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's awesome,
good times, man. Love sports. Love ping pong. You've gotten into ping pong.
You're getting me into ping pong viciously, man.
Yeah, like, you've gotten into it. I'm still
I'm not competitive at all. Not at all. So
no. You weren't competitive at all that night I came over and played on your dinky table.
Yeah, okay, listen, okay. We're only going to play here from now on regulation court.
Oh, man.
But yeah, like it'll be like, Dave beats me like 15 games in a row and I'll just be like, hey, keep going. I got to get better.
Yeah.
Just because that's just how I am. And I'm just like,
I found that new guy with Devin. You also know Devin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's like...
Great guy.
What I am to you is he's to me.
Fair enough.
I'm just like, buddy, come over. Just like crush me at pong.
Yeah, that's it though.
But that's the only way to get better, right?
It's that mindset of being like, destroy me so I can understand.
Yeah. And that's why I've said to you, that's life, man. I know it's like silly to compare ping pong with life, but like going out of your way to face, like, how are you going to deal with adversity? How are you going to play against someone that you know is better than you? How are you going to get inside their head, you know? And,
exactly.
And there's such a psychology to ping pong, right? Because it's not a team sport. It's just you.
It's all in your head.
That's it.
That's why.
So figuring out like how to, like I say to people, if you want to beat me, put it over to my backhand because it's garbage, right? So
I didn't figure that out. Well, or like your one buddy who came over, I just saw like how like emotionally charged he was, and I was like, hey, I'm just gonna be annoying. Like playing, and he just would get so pissed and like hammered it in the net. I'm like, that's how, like, you're technically he's better than me. Like, if you're just talking like technique and like power, can destroy me, but it's all in the head.
Yeah. No, and I'm
a psycho,
and I do the same. Because you can. It's one of those. That's why I like it's like an individual sport. Like you can't blame it on anything else, right? You can't be like, oh, my teammate didn't pass it to me. No, there's none of that. It's just you.
Yep.
And if you get inside someone's head, man,
I find you're really good at tough. Just like the defense. Like somebody will just like smash it on you, and then you just boom, nice little like return, and they're like, what the and then they just get so mad. It's like
totally.
Yeah.
I think it's been cool meeting you. Like I said, we haven't known each other that long, but it almost feels as if like we have in a way, because it's just we're so similar. Like we basically do the same thing.
I know, it's weird.
And we live like 8 minutes apart now. And we got
actually funny enough, I'm gonna be like really honest here, but
of course that's what it's about.
I was around the dinner table with my family, and I was just talking about you and how, you know, we were like getting along, and I was learning a lot from you, just because again, I look up to you, and I think you're wow, look at us go. And anyways, I was just talking about you a lot. My sister looks over, she's like, do you have a crush on him? And I'm like, maybe I do, honestly. I have a guy crush on Dave.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so it's been crazy how we've just like developed this friendship so quickly. Like you said, it's just like it feels like I've known you forever.
Yeah. Cheers to that, bro.
Man. Cheers to that. New friendships. Love that. There it is.
Oh, these are basically like double shots.
Yeah,
man, firing me up.
We're not used to that.
I've always, and I wouldn't call it a struggle, but it's kind of my personality. Like I have a hard time really being super close and friends with people that I know there's just not the substance there, right?
Right.
And I felt that at college. Like I went to college for a year, and I had a blast with people. Don't get me wrong. Like I was social, but I realized I'm pretty introverted. Like I thought I was extroverted by like going to all these weddings.
Yep.
But I'm actually pretty introverted. Like I don't really have a fear of missing out. And if I see, if I'm away somewhere and then I go online and I see like people are together and they're at a party, like I don't really care.
Right.
And so it's been hard for me to actually like maintain friendships. I know that sounds kind of weird, but like I've only got like one buddy that I talked to from high school. Most of my like current friends, like I can count on like one hand, and they all play ping pong.
That's amazing.
And they're all self-employed, you know? And so I think it's been great to like, meet you. You're competitive, love sports, and you filmmaking and everything, right? So I feel like we got a good thing going here, man. Maybe,
absolutely.
Maybe we'll last a while.
Yeah, hopefully. But I think it's just that understanding of stuff. Like when, like, if we complain to each other about something, which we don't do much of, but say we're like, oh man, do you ever get this? And then you know exactly what I mean, and I don't have to explain it to you. You're just like, dude, I get it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't know. Like it's nice to confide in somebody who gets it, and like without sounding conceited or cocky, but is like at your level of that thing, you know what I mean? So for example, it's like shooting weddings. So we'll just use that for an example, and I'll be like, oh man, like, when this happens, you're like, yeah, I do. And it's like, I know you know exactly what I mean, because you do the exact same thing as me. And I think it's just like comforting to have that, I guess. And then I think for us as well, I think we just have a good time.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
A little bit fun.
Yeah, no, we definitely have a good time.
Yeah.
And I think, with weddings, it's really been like, I wouldn't like, it's been a psychological like experience, to say the least. Like I'm the first to say the wedding industry is marked up, it's inflated. Like I think what I make is definitely inflated, but I think weddings, you pay for the precision, you pay for like the accuracy, like the day. You got one shot at this, right? Like there's no like going back or calling the bride or reshooting anything. There's no like redoing the first kiss, like, or their dance or anything. So
100%.
Weddings have just like, it's really fine-tuned my mind. Like you can't make an error. I mean, you can make an error, but you won't last long in this industry.
Yeah.
and doing it solo. Like I've been doing it solo, right? So the first wedding I shot, I had one battery and I had one 16 gigabyte card. Because that's all I could afford.
Yeah.
Because back then, I remember I spent like almost $300 on a 16 gigabyte CF card. I bought the Canon 5D Mark II.
Nice.
And I was shooting weddings for like $200 because I was just like, and then it was just like, okay, maybe I should buy a couple more batteries so that I'm not like having to like recharge the same battery. And then
I can't shoot anything right now.
You just slowly, fine tune, right?
Yep.
And then you just do that naturally in life, right? And I've always had a hard time connecting with certain people, not because I ever think I'm better than them at all, but I just think the way I've had to grow like really quickly, and then financially you're getting paid well, and just having buddies that just like don't want to go out and have fun just because they can't afford it, right? Mm-hmm. And then for me, I've always just been the guy that's like, screw it, let's go. Yeah. Let's go to the Leafs game. Let's go, whatever. Even with you, let's go out.
I know, yeah. You're just like, let's do it.
I'm just like, wow. Whatever. I don't care, man.
Usually I'm the guy who's like, let's just do it. But
so it's cool. It's really neat to like build this sort of circle and have new buddies like you, and then all my other buddies like playing ping pong and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we have a blast, man.
We sure do.
I'm excited to keep doing podcasts with you.
I know. It's always a good time coming over here, playing some pong, getting my ass kicked for 3 hours straight, but we still do it.
Yeah. Going through my list here. Yeah, you love doing same day edits, right?
I do.
How many of them have you done?
Oh, man. I mean, so for Instillment, 2, and then for Captivate, like we were doing them a lot. So I learned a ton from Captivate. So I just want to say, Captivate, thank you so much. You guys taught me a lot. Adam and Adrian, loved working with you guys and your team. And like right early on, like I started right out of high school working with them. Yeah. So I was like 17 years old, just like shooting my first wedding, and they just dropped me in and they're like, sink or swim, buddy. And I feel like I was like treading water. It was a little bit underwater, but after that, like I loved that thrill of like going back to what you were saying before about like, if you fuck it up, like that's it, right?
Yeah.
But I loved that pressure, like being an athlete and stuff. I'm like, I love that. It like forces you to get to a different level. And then I remember Adam specifically asking me, he's like, hey man, like I see you do like all these like edits for yourself. Like, do you want to try doing a same day edit on the editing side? And I'm like, yes, I would. So we went to a wedding that wasn't a same day edit, but I treated it like one. So I was just there like, editing, and I had it done like 3 hours before we had to like show it. And it, like, I felt so good. I'm like, like I'm up there with like Jay Lupish. Like he had it so fast and stuff.
It's so,
and then after that, I just became addicted. I'm like, put me on editing every time. And then I just crush, cause I just love going through all that stuff. And I'll throw in like the audio files too. And like, people are like, oh man, like you have time to do that. I'm like, oh yeah. Tons. I just love editing fast.
Totally.
So man, I just think it's a cool experience for the couple too.
Oh yeah.
To be able to see their whole day, because how much do they miss? Like I'm sure you missed a ton on your wedding day, right?
Yeah.
You just didn't know what happened until later seeing the video, but it's like the day of, like you're just go, getting ready. Okay, now we got to go here. Now we got to say hi to these people. And then the same day, it kind of just lays everything out for you, which I think is cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. I've actually done one, and I think I've done it twice now, where I shot it by myself and then edited it during dinner.
You're nuts.
And I was like, I don't know if I do that again. I did it just as like just to like see if I could do it in a weird way. Like I didn't like offer it, like if I didn't charge for it, because it was more so like if I don't execute, I don't want to be like on the hook.
Yeah. How long was the video?
It was like 2.5 minutes.
Oh, minutes, yeah. So you just used your absolute best.
And I didn't even cut to like, I didn't have audio or anything. Like I was able to slap it together like pretty quickly. Just because like I shot the footage.
Of course,
and I knew in the morning kind of like the shots I was going to use. And I don't know what your template is, but like I already knew what song I was going to use.
Oh yeah,
like,
you got to have the song.
You really just got to like, remove all your room for error. Like you got to have everything. I almost have like in my Premiere, like this block is for like groom prep, bride prep, bit of ceremony.
Like do you physically have that in Premiere? Like do you have it like blocked? Oh,
like I have like an actual, like it's not like it's like an adjustment layer or something.
Yeah. But you just
that's just whatever. Yeah. So then it's like you're just basically building a puzzle with like 30 clips. Like it sounds crazy. Like I mean, I don't recommend it.
It doesn't sound crazy,
but
at
it's
all.
just like when you know how to execute it. I was like, man, I should do this more often. But yeah, the wow factor was crazy. Yeah. As you know, it's like such a buzz.
Yeah.
People coming up to you that night being like, dude, like,
how'd you do
that? You
that?
made that video by yourself, like tonight? Like, yeah, man. And I was like, I also like enjoy dinner and I'm hanging out with people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stuff. So.
Weddings are so much fun to work, man.
Yeah, they are.
Like you're basically hanging out with the camera all day.
Yeah.
Of course it takes time. Like I'm not just saying like, if someone wants to get into the wedding industry, they're just going to pick up a camera and like have fun. They're going to be stressed as shit the whole day.
Yeah.
But like once you like know how to do it and you're like, I know what shots look good. I know that if I use this, like, you know what I mean? You gather that and then you let yourself have fun. Cause you're like, I know I can hang out and create something sick at the end of the day. So it's like, that's when it becomes like super fun. I think at least.
No, but for me too, man. Yeah. The first few years were just like, okay, yeah, this is really stressful. And I kind of had a roller coaster of emotions. Like I was like telling people like I'm getting out of weddings. I remember that
really,
people were like,
saying like
don't even like, they were just like, yeah, he's not doing weddings anymore. And it was like so bad like that I was like actually like telling people, but it was more just me, I don't know, just not knowing how to deal with my emotions and not knowing how to deal with like the stress and anxiety and just being like, no, it's not worth it. And then just like that, I had to just have a switch and be like, you know what, like I'm going to take another stab at this, but just have a completely different approach, keep it laid back, keep it me, keep it raw and just have fun, like literally.
Yeah. So it's funny that you say that.
And it worked. And I tell people all the time now, I'm like, these are the secrets. Like, it's not like wearing a suit to a wedding. It's not like having this amazing contract. It's not your website or like your SEO strategy or all sorts of stuff. Like, it's literally like your customer service. Yep. Literally. Like your product you might not even have the best product, but like if it's your customer service, man, people are going to recommend you.
Yeah, people don't notice anyways.
Do you know what I mean? Like people don't even watch the videos. They probably just scroll through them. I was going to
say.
Like, oh, Dave made us an 8-minute video. I don't have time. I'm just going to watch like 2 minutes of it.
Yeah, nobody actually notices or like cares about that stuff. Like nobody's going to watch that unless they're actually a photographer and be like, man, that was a nice 7200 shot. They're going to be like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Like they don't give a shit. They don't know.
No.
I'm not saying use that as like, oh, I can slack off, but it's like, focus on stuff like that where you're actually creating that positive experience for them, so then it's fun for everybody. It's their day, it's not your day. It has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
Make them feel comfortable, you'll probably have fun doing that. It's really as simple as that. But it's funny that you say that because I was exactly like you. I stopped doing weddings for Captivate just because I'm like, I don't want to do weddings anymore. And then same type of like mind shift, and I was like, these are actually so fun. And again, new approach. Just go have fun. Have a good time shooting. You're going to shoot fun stuff. You get to meet people. Like the amount of people I'm sure you've met from weddings.
Yeah.
That just like have nothing to do with weddings, but they're like just cool people to know or
great people.
All these different experiences. You're learning a ton.
For sure. Yeah. I've had some really like amazing, I've been all over. Like I've been to like 8 different countries for weddings.
Come on. That's sick.
I've been all over, man.
That's sick.
Did a wedding for a guy on the Florida Panthers. So I was like partying with like NHL people all night at Kurt's Orchards.
That's sick.
And just like, people in Toronto, like for musicians, like everything, man. I've just like, the clientele's awesome. Yeah. And it's fun. Like that's it's unreal. Like they just want to have fun. It's their wedding, right? So
that's what a wedding's all
about.
Why
stress them out,
100%.
So and I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like, but I'm gonna always like keep doing them. Maybe not at the pace that I'm used to or currently going at, but
what is your pace? Just in case people were wondering.
I mean, this year I'm trying to make like a really absurd goal. I'm trying to like hit 100 weddings, but that's between June 1st and May 31st. Like I have a different calendar year.
Okay.
Because if you go from January 1st to December 31st, like 5 of those months are not even in wedding season.
Right.
So I'm like, I have my own like calendar, but
what are you at right now? What's
I mean, I think for 2021, I'm like almost at 70. So I still have a ways to go. So it's obviously like a crazy goal, but there was this, I forget her name now, but this, I found her on YouTube and she's like in the States. I think she shot 80 weddings last year just on like she's got a glide cam, like just by herself. And I was like, man, I'm motivated by that, you know?
You're like, I want to be like that too.
I was like, I got to do that. Like if she can do that, I can do that kind of thing, right?
That's awesome.
And then I love like the YouTuber Casey Neistat. I think he's married. He has 2 kids. And I think he did 400 days in a row of content, like over a year.
Here's me complaining about 60, and this guy's like, I have 400 days?
And so my God, dude. I started watching these YouTubers and using it as like motivation for like, okay, there is a way to do this. Like there is, like people are doing this. So like there's a method clearly. But there is a way to shoot 75, 100 weddings a year. Like it's not that crazy of an idea.
Yeah.
And obviously like it's a snowball effect, right? Like when you start entering like 50 plus a year, you're just getting so many more eyes, so many more referrals.
For sure.
Right. So
and when you focus
now,
on,
like I used to say no, like if it was like, if I already had a wedding on a Saturday and a Sunday and I got a request for the Friday, I'd just be like, no, I'm booked. But then now I'm like, no, I'm actually not booked. Like I'm available.
Yeah.
So now I've got like so many triple headers, but it fires me up because I got a good system now and just spent a ton of money on a new computer, so I can I can pump them out.
Unreal, man.
But it's gonna be crazy 2021.
Yeah, same with us. Everything got moved to next year. So what's your favorite part of the whole wedding experience? Is it shooting? Is it editing? Like what do you, or even more specifically, like what do you like shooting the most or editing the most?
Yeah, I would say I'm a stronger editor than shooter. Like I think I'm decent, but I think I just make up for it in sort of the music I pick and like stringing together all the vows,
the pacing and stuff,
and just sort of building that story. But yeah, I mean, we're not having this year, but I love the dance party, man. Like, and I love a good live band.
True.
Because I love music and I play a few instruments as well. So sometimes I'm just like, wow, I'm just like taken back by some of these wedding bands. Like they're tight, you know. 100%. And I'm on the dance floor. I'm getting up close. I got my like gimbal. I'm just getting.
You start shooting a music video on the side. You're like, what's going on?
And then I love, I love like house music and Juna Deep, all that sort
of no way
stuff. So I'll put my headphones on and I'll just like rough cut like all my dance footage, and
that's sick.
And then I'll like bring in my like sappy wedding song after.
That's awesome. I love it.
But yeah, I can't wait for next year. I really hope we can get back into like party mode.
Yeah, me too, man.
Because so many like that. Let's be honest, like that's why people postpone their wedding. Like because they couldn't have the party.
That's
right?
what the wedding's about. Like you're lying if you're saying like, oh, I can't wait for the ceremony. It's like you can't wait for the ceremony to get married, and then you're gonna go have the best time of your life with everybody. It's like
that's why everyone postponed, because it's like you're still actually legally married. You're still legally allowed to get mared. You just can't have anyone there.
Exactly. So it's like, what's the point at that point?
So Joe Rogan have you know who Joe Rogan is, obviously. I don't know if you've seen any of his podcasts. I've watched clips of his, but some of his podcasts are like 4 hours long.
Yeah, it's nuts. He doesn't give a shit.
And the one with I love him. I was like, not that I envy anyone, because it's like, why envy someone? But like, I was like, this dude is like, he's as raw as it gets. Like he's getting drunk on his podcast. He's smoking pot with like Elon Musk. He's got like huge celebrities on there, and just like how raw it is. So I was like, this dude, I remember him as like the guy that like did that show Fear Factor, and just thought he was kind of corny. But then when I started seeing like how raw he is and how he just makes fun of celebrities, and
it's crazy.
Yeah,
but he actually comes with like really good questions.
Oh yeah, no, he's good.
Yeah. And I find he's really good at being like, if he doesn't know something, or if he's like genuinely like, explain this to me. Like I really like that. Like he doesn't just say like, oh, like I'm going to talk about this even though I have no idea. Like he's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like he's okay just being like, I don't know. I really like that about him.
Yeah, we should do another shot, man.
Speaking of being raw.
This is just like Reese and my friendship kind of in a nutshell, right? Ping pong, chatting.
Should we do another shot?
Life.
I think I got one left in here after. Actually, could I finish that?
Holy
I'll wait for you.
We'll save. Oh man, you're going fast.
I'll wait for you. Sorry about that, man.
Are these the same milliliters?
Yeah. I'd like to check actually, just so I can say that I beat Dave in something, because I'm definitely not going to beat him in pong. Well,
cheers, buddy.
Cheers to you, brother. Once again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
There it is. Hey, Dave, what time is it right now, man?
It's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock in the afternoon. There we go.
Just after 2 on Thanksgiving Monday.
Right on. Happy Thanksgiving.
We're thankful.
Yes, we are thankful
for essential beverages.
Yes,
right. The government
essential.
The government kept them open, right? So
true.
There's got to be they're essential.
They're
right?
essential beverages. That's the newest name for alcohol.
That's what I call them.
You heard it here first.
That's what I've been telling people about these weddings. It's like, that's what bugs me about this whole, the way they've been sort of treating the pandemic in terms of like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and just how they said, okay, weddings can happen now that are staffed. But my wife's cousin just basically had to, like, she still got married, but had to like throw out her whole guest list. People had to come in like intervals of 20 or 25 people.
Oh, that's fun. Love that.
And because it was at their house, right? But if they did it at like, let's say John Michael's or whatever venue, then you could have, I don't know, 50 or 100 people because there's staff there. And I'm thinking, as if What are the staff
what do you
of
mean?
banquet halls?
If there's staff there, why
but
does that?
Let's be honest. Who are the staff at banquet halls? They're like high school students serving food, and they're just it's
also
their
happen to be
part-time
the
job.
people who don't give a fuck about this stuff.
Do you think these people are going to go up to someone and say, "Don't hug"? No.
Yeah.
They're not like police. They're serving you food.
Yeah.
So it's like the weirdest thing ever because it's like a staffed event. Like the weddings I'm going to. I was just at a wedding where there was a band.
Yeah.
And there was a dance. And I'm on the dance floor and I'm like, if someone's got COVID here, I'm getting it. And I'm like, I mean, I don't want to get COVID. At the same time, I'm like, in a way, I want to know how my body would react to it. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
That's a whole nother debate.
It's weird to me. So the whole thing is really strange. But
yeah, because wouldn't it make more sense?
Stick to tequila. I think I heard that it kills COVID. I don't know. Maybe we need to get a fact check on that. But,
yeah, where did we hear that?
But I don't know. I read that somewhere on Facebook, so it must be true, right?
It has to be true.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Pass that tequila over here.
I don't know about Jaeger though.
Yeah. Jaeger was always used as medicinal. It's cough syrup, right? Oh, it's terrible.
Totally.
Anyway.
Oh man.
Oh, love that.
Got a couple of roommates that are also film guys, right?
Yeah.
You got a house there that is just probably oozing with creativity.
Oh man, every day
right?
there's just so many ideas.
Like,
that's why we did it though.
Yeah.
Like we all moved in together because we're like the efficiency that we can have together and like the amount of like ideas we can bounce off each other, and so far so good. Obviously it's been hard to execute on them because there's so many limits right now, but personally speaking, I started in Stillman because I love creating like films and like stories and stuff like that. So like in elementary school I started with animation, so I was like animating stick figures and like building these like little stories, and I just loved creating those. And then as things started getting bigger, I would see how people would react to them, and that reaction and being able to I guess instill emotion in people. You know what I mean? That's what kind of got me into this whole thing. So if we were talking like no variables and just like what would you like to do right now, if I could do anything, it would definitely be to do another film. Working on Warner Road, that film I did a couple of years ago, was probably like one of the best experiences of my life. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. We were shooting for like 20 hours a day. It was like, I'm not even kidding. Like it was like 20 hours. We dumped the footage and like organized the stuff for tomorrow for an hour, and then 3 hours alarm, we're up. And it was just like it was crazy. But I loved it.
And what was you were directing or shooting?
Yeah, I was directing and
everything?
shooting, which I would never recommend anyone do that. But I was doing it for the sole purpose that I because myself and the guy who I was working with, Jake Myrie, we like wrote the film together. And I think I'm an okay director. Obviously, I have a ton to learn, but I think I can really relay my ideas to people. And if not, those people that I work with, please let me know, because I love critiques and feedback and I'd like to be better. But and generally speaking though, I thought I was okay, and I knew exactly the kind of shots that I wanted, so I was like, I might as well just shoot it too. Mistake. Never do that, because like now not only are you worrying about the story and leading everybody, you're also worried about, okay, what settings are going to be good here, what lens is going to be good, like let somebody else figure that out, right? But I really loved the movie making process. And even last year we entered a short film into My Rode Reel, so like Rode microphones, so that brand, we entered it into that competition, and we actually won best action short out of like 650 films. And we won best action short, so we won like a whole bunch of equipment, and then it was like on their website and stuff, so it was a really cool experience. I loved it.
And so that was obviously scripted.
So
you would like to keep doing more scripted content?
I mean, like it's such a debate, because I love filming real life, like sports. Like I would say I'm strongest at filming sports, and I loved filming all the Brock games and everything like that. Like Steel Blade 2017, that's my favorite video I've ever done.
Nice.
Want to go check it out? Link right here. No, but like that was just fun, because it was like the weddings. You show up, you have some drinks with some of the team and stuff, and you're just like filming, obviously keeping everything safe, but like you're having a good time, and then you're filming something that you love. And like how does it get better than that? Like even like we'll be at our new house, and then we'll be having a party, and I'll just pull out the camera to like document moments, because I just love doing that.
That's me, man. That's definitely me.
And so it's like, but also friends love it too, because then they get to see the party after, and they're like, oh my god, are you gonna make a video for tonight? And I'm like, like I just love doing that. And like me, with a little bit of a buzz, like filming, there's nothing better in my life. Like I'm like completely REECE when I'm doing that, because it's just like I'm having fun with my friends. I'm holding a camera, and I'm having essential beverages. How does it how does it get any better than that? You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I was telling you last time we hung out that I brought a camera to my own wedding.
Yeah, which was the coolest
because and then people were like coming up to me like, they're like, dude, put the camera down, like don't work at your own wedding. I'm like, this ain't work, man. I'm going, this is fun. Like you're like, everyone's buzzing, we're having a silent disco party. Like that's why I make videos, you know, and
for sure, man.
And just keeping it raw. And just like, I don't even care what camera I have, like just a device that can shoot something just because I want to document that moment, right?
Absolutely.
Because I went to like, I think I said earlier, I went to Humber College for a year. And it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I originally applied for their like advanced film program, right? Like right after high school. Mm-hmm. My parents had been saving like my whatever child money benefit plan. Yeah. There was like money, my mom was like, there's money to go to college. I'm like, oh great, okay. How much is college? I didn't know anything, right? Yeah. And so I applied to this film program, didn't get in, and then they said you can take this like bridge program, just a great money grab, right?
Of course. Yeah.
And it was like this media photography thing.
Don't get me started on.
It was like just a joke, school. Like super joke. Like it was like camera basics. I'm like, whatever. I'm here now. I'm in residence. I don't even care. And then I did the year, did well in the program, and then I actually did get accepted into the advanced film program.
Nice.
But like throughout that whole year, I was freelancing downtown. I had a few buddies in production.
Nice.
I shot at like CBC, did something with like George Strombolopoulos, and then like a few other gigs in production. And then I realized like, I don't want to do this at all. Like I don't even like being on set. Scripted content to me, like nothing against it. Like I love watching films and like I can really appreciate it. But yeah, it's just like long days. It's a lot of resetting. It's a lot of reshooting. Yep. It's a lot of like literally just like pulling wires around and taping things to the ceiling and just like, I was just like, no, like I just want to shoot documentary style, like fly on the wall. Yeah. So it was weird. I was glad that I kind of didn't get accepted to that program right away because I don't know, maybe I probably would have done it, and who knows where I'd end up. I'd probably be like some CBC like cameraman anchor or something, like hating my life.
Fair enough, man. Do you find that you bring aspects of what you learned there into wedding films though, or no?
Yeah, maybe a little bit from just like the tech, like the tech side of like actually learning like how to operate a camera. Because before that, I was shooting on like stuff that was all auto, right?
Right.
Like I remember my first camera was like I was shooting to tape, and it was just like full auto and like a digital zoom in. There was no like manual focusing or anything. I didn't know anything about like what was an aperture or shutter speed, or I didn't even know what any of that meant.
Yeah.
And so that's right. I can give some credit to school there, like teaching me about all that.
Cool.
But in terms of just like growing the business, no, that all just sort of happened naturally, just like trying to scale and slowly charging more and whatever. But yeah, Humber was fun, man. Like living in residence.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like I went
with
from
your personality
Christian high school, living in like small town Niagara-on-the-Lake.
Yeah.
I remember my parents dropping me off. My mom's just like conservative Christian woman, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, like are these co-ed bathrooms?" And I was like, yeah. And then you go in. If I'm being like totally honest and transparent, there was a few times, you know, you gotta go to the bathroom, right? You gotta go number 2, and then like a girl walks in and it's like, no, can't, not going to the washroom, going down to the lobby, going in like the handicap bathroom.
Yeah, it's something, anything. Just
can't do it. Can't do it.
Oh, that would have been so awkward.
And it was just like, and then you just get over it. But it was so weird. It was really strange. Like co-ed bathrooms. Yeah. In a residence, and it was just like,
that's just like reeks danger.
I know. It was just like this is kind of strange, but whatever. It wasn't 2020 then, but it was fun. Humber was a blast.
True.
But then I was glad to be in Toronto, and then found my way back to Niagara. But it's just cool what you kind of pick up like through life, right?
Of course.
And absolutely. You just slowly just gravitate towards certain people and things, and here we are now, man.
I know.
Starting podcast number 1.
I know. And
I want to put in the title. I want to put like 001 because I want to hit at least 100.
You have to. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. It's funny. I did the same thing for ours.
Did you?
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we reached 13 and nothing else happened. So, yeah. Love that.
All right. Well, I got to break 13.
You have to. Now it's a competition, which means I'm going to have to start it back.
I'll come over to your place then. We'll just keep.
Just keep going back and forth. There we go. Should we end off with our last shot or what?
Yeah, we've been like an hour-ish. I don't know. This has been great.
Unreal.
Hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you can learn something from us just talking. drinking tequila.
Yes, it's been a
we
pleasure.
will do
It's
more
been
of
a
these though,
pleasure.
right?
I hope
We're
so.
gonna-
You tell me, man. It's your podcast.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, at this point, it's our podcast.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's the only one I've done. So whether you're a guest or a co-host or
Wow,
whatever, man,
co-host.
we're gonna do more.
Wowie.
We're gonna do more in the Rally for Serve Dave Cave
Yes.
basement, man.
That'd be a lot of fun. I
So-
would love to, man. Well, thanks for having me. Should
Let's
we,
end it
should we
off with a
finish it off?
shot.
Right on, man.
We're thankful that the government kept the essential.
Beverages rolling. I think my last one's gonna be a little bit smaller, so don't judge me because
Holy
my other ones were a
smokes.
little bit bigger. So
How did we just finish off? What are these? What are these called?
in an
A
hour.
Mickey?
Mickey, yeah, little
We
Mickey,
just finished
little Mickey
off-
Mouse.
We just finished off a Mickey Mouse. Cheers to you, bro. Appreciate your time.
Cheers to you, Dave. Thank
Honestly,
you.
Yeah. All
Appreciate
the best, man.
it. Cheers, man.
All right.
Should we play some Pong?
Signing out. You will at the end of this video. We're going to show some Pong highlights. So stay tuned. Thanks
Stay
for watching,
tuned,
guys.
watch me get my ass kicked.
That is messed up. Oh, back to back. This guy is. How's that for fucking
Last night, I think I even might have lost a friend.
What again? Oh, sure, it's two. Oh! Not over yet. Pump him up my neck. Reecer! I am pissed! Oh shit. I am pissed. I never did my best. You like that comeback though? You like that fucking comeback? Let's fucking go. Ah!